We just went to Frutilandia and we got a churro, what was it called? Dulce churro. This is how it looks. And today I decided to do a different video on my channel since I always keep it more on the like educational side and I'm always like filming on my own. I decided to film a video with my bestie. So we're going to be talking about being a commuting student at ASU and how we did that. Let me This is so delicious. And first, compare and contrast the differences between living on campus and living off campus. I think living on campus is its own experience. Like, they're both two different experiences, but I enjoyed living on campus a lot more because I felt like I had more freedom and I was closer to my classes. I could hang out with my friends in my dorm room without like bothering like my parents or family and like bringing them over all the time. And then yeah, it was just like closer to everything, so if I want to come back and take a nap like after class, I could. And like I did that. And then living off campus also had its perks because you didn't really have to spend a lot of money. You just bought your parking pass and then you would go back to like school, but you do have to like spend money for gas and food, but I feel like it accumulates over the year, so it's not that bad.
I literally definitely agree. Like, I think living at home, honestly, you save so much money. Like, in all reality, like living off campus, because I had an apartment, so I had to pay bills, I had to pay gas too, I had to pay food, I had to pay all these like adventures I'd be taking with my friends. But at home, like, I was home all the time just because like my parents were super strict, and like going out is like I'd go out every now and then, and at school I'd go out literally every single day. So like you save a lot of money living at home. But I think living so close to campus, because my apartment was like right next to like campus basically, I think it was just easier. Like, going to school was easier. Seeing your friends, because it'd be like 1 a.m. and they'd call me and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I'd be like, okay, like I'll be there in a minute.
Me
literally. So like I think that, like, I don't know, I just enjoyed that.
We didn't live on campus our first year, and I feel like we were fine. We were still able to go like to events and stuff, but it's just like very different. You can make the most out of like just like living on campus and living off campus, like either way, because I feel like we were still like really involved with like school and like going to like different events even though we were off campus. The only thing is you're not living there or like sleeping like around ASU or wherever you go as a like commuting student. So I feel like you're still able to like get the experience, but it's just like sometimes I just felt like everything was closer living on campus. You didn't really have to worry about like missing out on things, or like if you forget to do something, you can just go back on campus and like get it, or like do whatever you had to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too, because like for me, my classes were like one was in the morning and then one was like more in the afternoon. And like living so close to campus, literally like I go to my morning class, drive back home, take a 2-hour nap, and then drive back out to like my classes. And like if I lived off campus, like that'd be so hard to do. Like I would have to like stay on campus and like just kind of like wander around until like my class started. Like I think that's what I hated the most, because I just felt like I was wasting my time where I could have been productive. Taking a nap is very productive in my opinion. So like I think that was the difference.
How did you like living in your apartment?
I love living in my apartment. Like I haven't lived in a dorm, so like I don't know what's the difference, but like living in an apartment, first of all, you have every advantage. Like, you're completely on your own. Like, living in a dorm, usually you have a CA or an REL, and like they still check up on you. Like, you can't be doing certain things, there's still rules. But in an apartment, like, you're free to do whatever.
You have a kitchen.
You have your own kitchen.
A living room. I
had a laundry
place.
Literally inside my closet. Like, I'd open my closet, wash my clothes. Like, that's probably like the easiest. Cleaning was, I felt like it was just easier because we had tile. Like, you don't have carpet to worry about. Like, everything's the way you want it because it's all your furniture, your style.
That's true.
Like, it's just like what
you have like more freedom, I feel like, with decorating and stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you're in your dorm, I know that you can't post things on your windows. I mean, at least at ASU, like, they've gotten like super strict about that, where you can't post like post-it notes on your windows or anything because people post inappropriate things. They're really strict on that, so they will charge you to your student account. So I'd say be careful if you're like trying to like post things on your window, but I don't know why someone would. But and then like even like putting a candle like on your like window, you can't use candles on campus. You can't take like a toaster to your dorm room on campus. You can't have anything that's like too strong like with power, because it might cause like a power outage, or it might cause your room to like catch fire. So they're like super like strict about that. But I look-y had a toaster. I mean, like, apart from this, our freshman years, we lived off campus too, but we were at home. So I feel like, what was the difference between those two experiences? That's the thing, like, that sucks with, like, living on campus. You are required to have a meal plan. Like, you can't opt out unless you have, like, a doctor's note stating that you're allergic to the food there, or that you can't afford it. Whatever that may be, like, it's really hard to opt out of like having a meal plan, and a meal plan is pretty expensive. It's already on top of what you're paying for living in the dorm. I think that's what we should address. Living at the dorm, I feel like Sonora, I think it's like $5,000 for the semester. Like, each semester you pay $5,000 to just live on campus.
I did not know that.
Yeah, unless it's like accumulated. Like, no, it's 5,000 for each thing. Because I remember when I was gonna live on campus, they were like, oh, well, you have to come up with $10,000 extra dollars, because that's how much it's gonna be for both semesters. On top of that, you have to pay for your meal plan. That's like what, or $1,000 depending on which one you get, because every time you get like a different meal plan, they range in like price, and it just really depends on how much you want to eat. But the more you add to it, the more meals you want to eat, the more expensive it gets. Yeah. Literally. But I feel like when you're living on your own, or you live at home, you eat a lot healthier, I feel like. Because when I was on campus, like, I try to eat healthy. Like, don't get me wrong, but I just couldn't. I couldn't find it in me, except for when I would go to Ingrain. Like, that's the only place I would eat at, because I hated the dining hall food. And I didn't really like eating Subway or Chick-fil-A or like Payway all the time. It was more of like an occasional thing. After a while, I got like bored of food on campus.
I feel like it got so bad that like I was so broke at one point from eating out like 2-3 times a day out with my friends. You gain that freshman 15. Shit's expensive.
It's really expensive. I mean, living on campus, like legitimate, like living on campus, like dorm lifestyle is hella expensive, because you're going through it like with a school.
But living at home, they would give you a refund check. And literally, I think like your freshman year, like that was so benefiting, because like people would be like, damn, like I'm so broke, like I have to take out a loan, I'm paying this off. And I'd be at home living my best life with like my thousands of dollars. Isn't it 1,000? It wasn't two, like thousands of dollars for days. Like, I think that's what I enjoyed about living at like at home. And I would keep that check, save it, spend
I forgot
it.
that part. That's so smart. Yeah. Like, the refund check was the thing that allowed me to buy my laptop, my books, my iPad, like all this stuff.
My refund check literally paid for my laptop, my books, just like simple things like my backpack, my notebook, my outfit.
And at the end of the day, like she was saying, it was like a couple $1,000s that you're getting back. So I feel like I paid for my gas and for my food through the scholarship. Like I did not like get anything out of pocket. Okay. So tips for like living on campus, like I said, be smart about what you're doing on campus. You're going to be basically watched by the CAs, RAs, whatever. Like don't think you're gonna have freedom to go do things outside of your dorm room, but when you're on campus and you're living on campus, it's really important to abide by the rules, because the last thing you want to do is disappoint your parents, have them come all the way for you, especially if you live out of state, because you did something stupid and you can't go back to campus because you violated one of the rules and now you can't go and live on campus. If you're living on campus, I'd say try to use as much of your meal plan as possible. I mean, just try to make the most of your year at living on campus, regardless of the situation. I feel like coronavirus is ruining a lot of things for a lot of us, graduation included, and I mean, everything's just gonna be different. But as long as you're trying to go to different events, even if they're virtually, you'll make friends and it'll be fine. I mean, I feel like it's the same thing with living off campus. I feel like we struggled a lot to make more friends because we lived off campus and everyone had their little close knits already by the first week, and we were still looking for people to hang out with, so we literally just hung out with one another. I mean, I didn't really care. I still have a little bit of friends, but I mean, I'd rather have one of my friends said, Sarah, she was I'd rather have less friends and more quality friends. So period. Poo. If you're living on campus, I recommend do not bring your car, especially if you're a freshman, because you're spending extra money. You're only gonna drive a car 3 times the semester, if anything, because you'll just have to go back and forth to the store to go get your things. But at the end of the day, you're spending more money on the parking pass than anything else. Yeah.
Off-campus tips, I'd probably say use that time to save, because I feel like you can. First of all, you're not spending as much money if you're living at home. Something might happen to your car and now you have to repair something, so saving, hands down, something you should do. Keep in mind that you still have to pay parking, because like she said, it was $800 for her. For me, I would park on the side, but that added up so much.
Yeah.
I got so many parking tickets. So many.
Yeah, be careful. They actually do check your parking.
Parking tickets
fast.
On point.
And try to make the best of what you're going to do, regardless if you're on campus or off campus or living at home or not living with your parents, I feel like. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and yeah, go follow my best friend. I'll probably link it right here or something. Okay, I'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
Bye.